This is instruction on how to create a scatter plot in Excel. So you'll see that the data here are separated. That's because we need to run some calculations with them. And so I'm going to show you how to select these two data sets in order to make one chart. So first get your cursor into the white cross and select all of the cells that will correspond with the X variable, and then hold your control key down while you select the cells that will go with the Y data. And now you're ready to insert your chart. So once you have these selected, go to Insert. And you'll see in the center all of these chart options, and go ahead and click on that chart option that looks like a scatter plot. And then click on that very first option, that'll give you a scatter plot. Notice when I did select the data, I did not select the headings. They don't benefit us, so we will ignore that. Now, I like the chart, but one problem I have is I would rather have the y-axis more accurately represent the range of our data. And so our data run from perhaps 5, maybe up to 10. And so I think I would rather have the vertical axis represent that. So from this juncture, go ahead and select that vertical axis. You should see it get highlighted. And let's go ahead and go down to Format Axis. And I did that by right-clicking when that axis was selected. If you have any trouble with this, just play around with it until this option appears. I find this a little funny sometimes myself. And now when we click on this, you might come up and it would look like this for you. What you want to do is go over to this little chart diagram, and this will give you the options we want for the axis. So we're over in the right menu here that appeared when we clicked Format Axis, and we're going to select this little chart icon. And now we'll just set the lower bound. I think 5 would be a better lower bound, so let's set it for 5 and enter. And now we see that we have what looks like a more normal looking graph. We still have a couple problems, and one is that we don't have any labels on either of these axes, and a good scatter plot would include labels. So let's fix this as well. So let's select the chart and then go way up to the gray top menu where you have Home, Insert, Draw, Page Layout, all of that, and click on this Chart Design option and go over on the far left to Add Chart Element. And here you'll see that you can add axis titles. So let's add an axis title to the primary horizontal, and you can see this appearing. And now we can click in. In fact, let's be very clear because we're working in a statistics class. Let's type X for our X variable and let's write X variable even, write it all out, and then indicate what it is. It is hours of screen time. And we can maybe just leave it at that and enter. Whoops, don't enter. Go back up, click on the outside of the chart again, and go to Add Chart Element, Axis Title, and add one on the primary vertical axis. And here we can change this to say Y. Whoops. Y, and it gave us our Y, but let's get our cursor back in position here. So Y variable, let me start over here, Y variable, and I'll put a colon and write hours of sleep. And now we have our axes labeled. Let's do the last thing and give it a title. And in appropriate APA format, we would want to give it a number. Let's do so. Figure 1. And then let's return and type in scatter plot showing hours of sleep, hours of screen time, and hours of sleep per 24-hour period. And that should be pretty good. Let's see if it does some automatic resizing for us. And it did a little automatic resizing, not optimal. So I'm going to change the size of this font. I'm going to bring it down to a nice, I think I'll go even, I think that 11 point looks nice. And I'm going to just left oriented because that's what APA style would dictate. But because we're not working in a manuscript, I'm just going to put a period after figure 1 and return to get a nice, better fitting title. And so now we have our scatter plot. So it might be simpler for you to just draw your scatter plot in the event that there aren't too many variables, but when you have a large data set, it's going to be better to use this function. So I hope this was helpful for you.